One, you're on the air.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 2021 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for the Town of Carmel. Board members' names are in front of you on the dais, and Code Enforcement Officer Mike Carnazza and Town Council Greg Fulchetti is with us tonight. The way we operate is we'll hear the case, swear you in. Probably not going to be a lot of input from the public, I don't think, tonight. But once I close the hearing, there'll be no more input beyond that point. All join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our only case tonight is a holdover from last month. And this was for CRM Properties. I lost the, oh, here it is. It's an application to, seeking a use variance 156-48A to allow construction of a two-car garage on a lot with multifamily use in an R120 zone. Property is located at 686-690 Route 6 and Mahopac, New York, tax map 75.11-1-10. All right, this is a holdover from last month. You guys, we had asked for some financial information.
Right.
Joel representing?
Yes, I'm Joel Greenberg,
Both gonna
representing
be
the
speaking?
applicant. This is Mr. Kosovic. the
Andrew
owner.
Kokovic.
Okay, state your name and addresses for the record.
Joel Greenberg, 2 Muscat Road North, Mahopac, New York.
Andrew Kokovic, 17 Bonniewood Drive, Mahopac, New York.
You guys just try to speak more concisely into the microphone, especially with masks on if you're going to keep them on. Raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, so I think some members had asked for some financial backing, as that is one of the criteria for a variance like this, and I think you guys did provide some.
The last 3 years
Yeah.
of Schedule
Yeah.
E.
I think you need to kind of, I mean, I'm not an accountant, and this looks like an accountant form, so I think you need to kind of go through it with us a little
Sure.
bit to explain, so.
Okay, let me begin. I have go through the whole
Joel,
lot.
you're going to have to,
Oh,
I
I'm
can't,
sorry.
I can't even hear you with the mask on, so,
Can you hear me now?
yeah, much better, but if you guys want to stay separate.
Is this on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Silvio.
That's what I'm here for, Joe.
Well, at least everybody has a purpose, right?
I'm
Okay.
still trying to figure out mine.
Okay, let's just go through a whole bunch of stuff regarding the section of the ordinance that we're talking about, the criteria for use variance, and so on. One of the things that the board asked for at the last time was the fact that you want to see some tax returns to show that there has been a net loss. And if you look at the bottom of the forms, it says there, item number 25, losses, and then there's a number next to each one. And there's been a fair amount of loss over the years in the $20,000 to $30,000 range. So I think we've shown the fact that right now the property is not providing any kind of profit at all. We'll come back to that in a second, but let's just go over a couple of other things. As you know, I'm sure all of you have been to this property or passed by this property. It's got, as you can see from the sketches there are 3 buildings plus a 2-car garage. The main building has multiple units of number, how many?
The main one?
How many?
8.
There are 8 units in the main unit, and then there are 2 single-family houses on the property. And then way in the back of the property is the 2-car garage, which we want to add another 2 cars to. It's quite obvious that the use of this property is non-conforming, again, with a total of 10 livable units, which is not a permitted use in any of the zones in the town of Carmel. The interesting thing here is that a garage, a freestanding garage, is permitted on any property, and that's all we're asking to add on to. We're not adding on any more uses, we're not adding any more families, any more apartments. All we're doing is trying to get additional garage, which I'll go into the reasons for in a few minutes. One of the other questions that was brought up at the last meeting was the amount of use of the property. If you look at the code, it specifically says on any residential property, the maximum coverage, lot coverage of buildings is 15%. Now, I did a total calculation of this particular piece of property, which actually is the lot coverage, if you add all the buildings, including the garage and including the two-car garage addition, is only 9.8. So as far as lot coverage, we're way under that. Again, I don't remember who, but one of the members had brought up that question of lot coverage.
I think it was Rose, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah, okay. Now, going to the specific section of the ordinance, which is 15648, it specifically says that no building which houses a non-conforming use shall be enlarged. Now, the garage is a conforming use on any piece of property. We're not touching the house, the two houses, or the 8 units in the big house. So basically, the building that we're talking about is a permitted use on any piece of property, and that's the building that we're trying to enlarge. And now we go into the...
Can you just reread that section again?
Yes. It says, I have it right here. I'll read it out loud for the record.
I was looking at that.
Okay. Except as provided in section 156-50 hereinafter, any type of non-conforming use of buildings or land may be continued indefinitely, but shall not be enlarged or structurally altered. Now, the buildings, there are 4 buildings on this property, an 8-unit apartment building, the 2 one-families, and the garage. The 8, obviously
Just to correct you, the 2 in the back are 3 families.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3 families. Okay, so there's a total of 11.
Total of 14.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Total of
Want the
14.
facts.
I think it actually helps the case. So you have 14 apartments on this piece of property, which is a little under 2 acres, 1.7 acres. Now, according to this, what I just read to you from the code, 156, it specifically says that the use or extension of any non-conforming building shall not be enlarged or structurally altered, and so on and so forth.
Which section is that, Joe? Excuse me.
156-47, A, 156-47A. And then it goes on to say, to 156-48A says alterations or relocation, except as provided in 156-48, no building which houses a non-conforming use shall be structurally altered or enlarged. Again, the 3 buildings that are non-conforming are not being touched, they're not being added onto. The only building that we're touching, which is a freestanding garage, which I believe is permitted on any piece of property in the town of Carmel, it's the only building that's being enlarged.
So, wait a second then. Then, the way you're going, this would almost be an interpretation and not a use variance. We'd have to interpret if this is an expansion of non-conforming use. No? I'm looking at the 2 of you.
You can do that, but after he's done, I'll give you the real side of it if you don't mind.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, Joel, I did this after we spoke earlier.
No,
I also looked into it.
No, I
Because
told
going
Mike.
to the section for alteration and relocation, obviously you're not altering the building, and obviously you're not relocating it. You're building another building on a non-conforming lot.
I think I said that already. That's absolutely correct.
I'll finish after.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, right, we are not enlarging or adding on to the 3 buildings that are non-conforming and create this whole parcel, as Mike said, which is all non-conforming, pre-existing non-conforming. The garage, which is a freestanding garage, is the only building that basically a garage is a permitted use, I believe, on any piece of property. Mike may or Greg may disagree with that, but I believe, and again, we're just trying to make it so that we can add on to this garage. We're not trying to add any more uses or any more density on this particular piece of property. And then we'll go into the reason for this. So again, just to read 156-48, no building which houses a non-conforming use shall be structurally altered or enlarged. Okay? So let's move back now.
Is this intended for use by the tenants, or?
That's the next thing. You took the words out of my mouth. So right now, there's a 2-car garage. We're adding 2 cars. As I believe was mentioned at the last meeting, again, as you can see from the tax returns, there's a considerable loss in between $20,000 and $30,000 over the last 3 years. And in other words, what we're trying to do is, Mr. Kosovic, instead of hiring people to take care of the snow plowing and take care of the lawns and the landscaping, is going to be doing that himself. So he needs a space to to provide for the snow blower, the lawnmower, and any other equipment. The other garage would then become part of a rental situation where he can offer a prospective tenant a garage, which obviously will enhance it. And we have a letter which I'll pass out. Because it was suggested that, if you'll see, this is from a real estate agent in the local area who's very familiar with this particular property. And he, if you read the letter, which I will read to you, he says, please note the following. It's my understanding that one of the garage additions will be for the storage of the owner's equipment. The other garage will be rental for one of the tenants. It is my professional opinion that the addition of the garage for use by one of the tenants will command a more equitable amount of rent for the apartment versus advertising the apartment without a garage. Without the additional garage, the rent will be much lower and the apartments will be more difficult to rent. So I think what he's trying to say here is that obviously if you have a vacancy, you can offer a prospective tenant not only the apartment but a garage. And based on what's been going on this winter, that certainly would be a very, very, very good thing to have to be able to offer a prospective tenant. So we have that letter, which I gave copies to you.
So if you've taken a loss the last 3 years as proven here, how are you affording to construct this garage? I mean, are you taking personal money or?
Well, I have another property, which is my bread and butter, so to speak. This was.
I'm speaking to the microphone.
I'm sorry.
Oops, speaking to the
I have another property, which is, that actually makes money. But, yeah, I refinanced and I took some money out, so I do have some savings.
You have the funds to, in other words,
do
build this
that, yeah.
garage. Okay.
But also this, I bought this under a 1031 exchange, so I was kind of paid a little more than I should have, but, you know.
What's the estimated cost here, construction?
The construction of the,
Garage.
Garage.
I got anywhere between, 15, 20,000.
Okay.
But as I was saying, it's just the building is old. The works, I mean, it was the type of work that was done in that.
No, I think we asked this last time. You're going to refurbish, obviously,
Yes,
what's existing.
the entire
The intent
roof
is
will
to.
be one covering the two garages as well.
Okay.
John, would you like to hear my?
Yeah, I'm just going to turn to you next, Mike. Go ahead.
Can I?
Oh, are you
Can I
also?
finish? I
I'm sorry,
only
Joe.
have about
Go
2
ahead.
hours more, okay?
Go ahead. We got plenty of time.
There's a line behind
We're
it.
first,
I'll
last,
go
and
back
in
to
the middle,
use
right?
variance when I'm done, so.
Okay, and now let's just go over the criteria for the variance, for the use variance. I think the tax returns show that at the present time, over the last at least 3 years, that there has been a loss. The addition of the two-car garage will allow for additional income for one-car garage, plus the storage for the owner's equipment, so that he doesn't have to hire outside people to do snow plowing and lawn maintenance. The hardship is unique to this property and does not apply to any of the neighboring properties, because most of the houses around us are all single-family houses. And I don't know of any specifically, 8-family unit houses in this particular area.
Joel, just for clarity, so what you're saying for the record is, the one garage that's going to be used for storage is going to save him money because he won't have to pay a third party to.
To do the.
To maintain.
Maintain the property, correct.
Okay.
Okay. The next criteria is that the variance will in no way alter the character of the neighborhood. Again, if you look very closely.
It's way in the back.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
You have the mic, Joe?
I got the mic.
Just to expand on Silvio's question, what is your general cost for that maintenance?
Who knows how much would you be saving?
Oh.
Snow removal,
For the maintenance?
Snow removal and,
lawn care.
care.
The reasons why you need this garage.
I've been doing it. So right now I'm occupying the two garages, and I'm having the equipment. But the two new ones that I plan on building, hopefully, I will be renting those out.
Okay, so
So
that's
I
to
need
enhance rental income for
Yes.
at least 2 units.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, if you look.
Plus-
If you look at the survey, this is Route 6N over here. This is the 8 units, and these are the additional multifamily units. This is the garage in the back. Now, if you look at the garage, you can see that obviously it is far, far away from the property lines, and I'll give you the dimensions. exactly. So it's far in excess of the front yard requirement, the rear yard, and the 2 side yards, which makes basically, okay, so the front yard requirement in this particular zone is 40 feet. This garage is 260 feet from Route 6N. The rear yard requirement is also 40 feet. In this particular case, with the addition of the 2-car garage, will be 69 feet. Side yard requirements are 20, no, it's 25, isn't it? Side yards are 25 in R120? 25, and the 2 side yards are 65 and 117. So as far as altering the character of the neighborhood, this building, the existing building and the addition, which is further behind, will in no way affect the character of the neighborhood and is, again, far in excess of all the requirements for setbacks. And again, you have the letter from the real estate agent, which we handed out to you, and the final criteria is the hardship was not self-created and is unique to this property. Again, this is a multifamily property. It's almost 1.77 acres or something like that, and it's obviously maintaining this property, if you had to go out to a contractor, would be substantial, and would obviously, the way Mr. Kosovic is proposing to do it will enhance the property, provide garage space for a couple of the tenants, and also save a lot of money for outside contractors. Okay, Mike, you're on.
Okay, Mike, you're on.
Okay, Mike, you're on.
All right. First thing, it's not on for an interpretation. It was only noticed for a use variance, so
Fair
that's
ard
where we are at the moment, just so
Got
everybody's
it, got
aware.
it. Well, that's why I asked the question too, though.
No, I just want to let everybody know that this is not really what it's here for. But anyway, if you go to the non-conforming part, it says, except as provided in 15650, which is the maintenance and repair section, which doesn't apply here because he's not trying to maintain or repair something.
No, right.
Hereinafter, any type of non-conforming use of building or land. So this is a non-conforming use of land. Obviously, the entire land has more than, how many units are on there?
14.
14 units. It's a multifamily. It's a one-family zone, so it's a non-conforming use.
Okay.
It may be continued indefinitely, but shall not be enlarged, is the first thing it says. You're enlarging the footprint of the thing. It goes right into it. It's specific. We've done this 1,000 times. It's definitely a use variance. And using the logic that Joel says, if I have 3 one-family houses on a lot, I could build 7 more one-family houses on the lot because each one is allowed.
No.
And you can't do that, obviously. That's not what the code intends. That's not what the code implies. It's if you have a non-conforming use, you can't expand it without getting the use variance. The trick is we're supposed to get rid of all non-conforming uses of land. That's what it comes down to.
So I could just respond to that. Obviously, the chances of this becoming a conforming lot and all the 14 units being eliminated and putting a one-family house on this, it'll be beyond where our lives, if it ever happens at all, number one. And number two, I think, that we have shown
Can't
that,
hear you.
number one,
Speak
I'm
to-
sorry, we've shown that there is a loss, and that everything Mike said is correct, and Mike and I talked about this, so I fully understand where he's coming from. But again, we're not talking about making this thing, technically, yes, maybe because we're doing something on the property, it's more non-conforming, but the uses themselves are not expanding any non-conforming uses. There's 14 units there now, there'll be 14 units there tomorrow, and probably 14 units in the next 40 or 50 years. All we want to do is make it more convenient. It's located far away from anyone's vision, and again, it is unique to the neighborhood, and I think that we certainly have responded correctly to the spirit of the criteria for the use variance. And as I said, it will not affect the neighborhood. It will not affect anything around the property. It's a large piece of property. It's probably one of the largest pieces of property on that particular section of 6N. It's almost 2 acres. And if you go up and down that section, there are one-family houses on both the lakeside and our side of the road. And again, this is a unique situation, was not self-created, and I don't think that while the specifics of the ordinance, Mike is 100% correct, there's no question about that. But I think in the spirit of what we want to do, and the reason that we want to do it, I think that in this particular situation, you certainly would have I believe, have the right to consider the use variance as we have discussed. And now we'll answer questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't implying any way that you should be going on the vote. I was just saying that this is a use variance, you know.
Yeah.
Did he prove the case for a use variance is all I was saying. I wasn't saying that he should take it down and make it a one-family dwelling. You're allowed to continue the use as it is. That's all that it's saying. You wouldn't allow him to put 14 more units on that property is basically what I'm trying to say.
Like you stated before, it's not an interpretation of our code. We're not interpreting, so this is just a straight-up use variance.
That's
No,
all.
it was me, I was the one that introduced it.
No, understood.
Just to give you some background information, the person that actually gave me this idea was the previous owner, who's prominent in the area, Mike Pirelli. I think he did a lot of work, you know, he did a lot of inquiries. And I asked him, I said, can you build on this thing when I purchased the property? And he said, about the only thing you could put on there is maybe another two-car garage. And that's, since then, it's been in my mind to, you know, do it, so.
Yeah, understood.
And I know he did his homework before, you know, he said that. I don't know if he was planning on doing it himself, but that's where I got the idea, believe it or not.
Let's hear from the board members. John, you got any questions or comments?
Well, you know, it's interesting to hear everything. You know, we did see this property and the garage, and it was in dire straits, and you did mention you were going to do a new roof,
Yes.
the new face,
Right.
new garage. I'd like to ask a question to you, because we're talking about some maintenance equipment that you'd like to store, and even Larry Zach says, you know, we're looking at lawn mowers, snow blowers, some tools. In your mind, would you just take the existing structure and square footage and just fix that up, rent it out, and then have a conforming shed on the property that's just a shed?
Yeah, but I don't
To
think.
fix that stuff. I mean,
Isn't that
that's-
the same situation?
Without doing anything, you know, it's really
That would
not a
need-
big lift here.
That would need the same variance,
Even for a shed?
technically,
A
yes.
90-square-foot shed?
It's another structure, so it's an expansion of a lot that holds a non-conforming use.
That's good to know, but, because it wouldn't need, if it had the setbacks, it would still require.
That's correct.
Because it's square footage.
He meets the setbacks with this.
Yeah, he meets the setback.
Yeah, he does meet the setbacks,
Yeah.
of course.
Yep.
Use.
Street use.
Talking out loud, but,
Okay.
in front of the garage, the new portion, you would just continue the asphalt pavement down there? Is that asphalt on your plans? Or is it like, you know, the new garage, Joel, on this one?
Yeah, if you look over here, hold on.
See?
Right over here, yes.
Yeah.
This is the existing macadam ends over here, so we would obviously extend the macadam in front of the new two-car garage. Yes.
No further questions.
All right, Phil.
I have nothing, thank you.
Silvio.
I was doing it all during it, so I'm good.
All right, Julio.
No question.
Julio. Sorry.
She's now a paisan.
All right. Is there any input from the public on this application? No?
Should we check around the corner?
All right, I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing on
Motion to
this.
close.
Second.
Okay. No further applications tonight, so there's no further input.
Let's take a break.
You want to take a break?
Well, why don't you make the vote official, let's close the meeting? Because all you did was,
What's that?
you didn't vote the meeting closed, the hearing. All you did was, you didn't vote it, you gotta vote it.
No, I'll take a motion to close the
You
public
got a
hearing.
motion, I seconded, where's the vote?
All in favor?
There you go.
All right.
I was trying to save you, you know.
All right, I'm a little slow. All right, we're going to take a little break and we'll come back.
Break's over.
Break's over.
Oh, wait, you can't, John.
No.
John just got up. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you want to take a break? Okay. You guys good? Good. All right, no further input from, what's that? Yeah, Dominic, you still rolling?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
You said yeah.
All right, So, no further input from the public on this application, or any application, so let's vote. Look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Going once?
I'll just
Going twice?
say, under the use variance, the applicant must prove all. Joel went through them, capable of earning a reasonable return. Last time he was here, last month, we asked for financials, and financials were provided. Properties affected by a unique or at least a highly uncommon circumstance. I would say that we had agreed to that even last month. 3, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. I do not believe it would. It's not self-created. I don't believe it is. So based on that, I would grant.
I would agree. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion granted. There's no minutes from last month, so hopefully by next month we'll have them, and that should conclude the evening's festivities. All right, good night all, we'll see you next, March 16th will be the next zoning board meeting, kind of at a sequence here, so for the public, thank you, and have a good night, everyone.
Good night.